Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about something really profound. I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons in context to something extremely profound that Alain de Botton said. All right, so who is Alain de Botton? He is a psychotherapist connected to Neil Brennan, who is a millionaire from the Dave Chappelle show. And he was the main writer on the Dave Chappelle show Beyond Dave Chappelle. Brilliant guy, and he did an interview, fantastic interview. Definitely watch it with Alain de Botton. So, what did Alain Botton say? He said something really profound, and he said, "There is no work-life balance. Anything worth doing will unbalance your life." What? That's pretty incredible. So first of all, I want to talk about this in context to Dungeons and Dragons. Well, Scott, Dungeons and Dragons isn't your work. That's correct. Dungeons and Dragons is not my work, and the reason why is I've never made a dime from any of my commentary on Dungeons and Dragons, and I actually have my monetization off. And the reason why is I saw what happens when you try to make D&D commentary your living, and it is brutal. It was not a pretty sight. I saw it was not a pretty sight. I would not suggest it for anybody, right? So why are you talking about D&D as your work? That's a good. So I consider D&D my labor of love, right? And so D&D has been a life's worth of work for me for 12 years. So one, actually, no, I guess, no, I actually really do. I think I can really consider D&D a labor of love. So one, I started doing D&D when I was 12 years old. Okay. I actually encountered it when I was 9 in 1979, but I really started in 1982. So I've been running and preparing campaigns since 1982, and I've been playing in campaigns since 1982. And for the last 12 years, I have worked extremely hard at D&D commentary. Frankly, I will say I think I have worked harder at D&D commentary than anyone alive. I've certainly done more videos on the subject. I now have 13,000 videos. That's a lot of videos, right? And so I say this all the time. I truly believe I'm by far the highest volume commentator on D&D. It's not even close. And I know I'm right about this because I say it all the time. And I'll say it now. I challenge you to show me anybody who's done more, and you're not going to be able to. I also challenge you to find anybody who's talked about Dungeons and Dragons more widely, right? Like in a broader context of situations, right? Like like not just how can you make your ranger build better, So I think I've discussed D&D more broadly and more in depth than anyone on the planet. So it truly is a labor of love. So why are we talking about this Alain de Botton comment? Well, I think it's really important, and the reason why is Dungeons and Dragons has definitely unbalanced my life. There's no two ways about it. One, I will tell you right now, if you become a nano celebrity, and that's exactly what I am, and you speak on a subject deeply publicly, it will definitely unbalance your life. All right, I have definitely hit some definite snags and paid very real social and cultural prices for that freedom to say what I wish, because it upsets people. It definitely upsets people, and they will come for you, and they will try to embarrass you, and they'll try to silence you, and it's difficult. It is, and there have been periods where I felt extremely unbalanced because of people's responses, because they didn't like what I was saying about Dungeons and Dragons, and that's upsetting. That is genuinely upsetting, right? In addition to that, I have ended friendships over Dungeons and Dragons. One very specifically, it was D&D was absolutely the cause. Me and that person will never be friends again. There, I did try to redeem that relationship, completely failed. And at this point, that animosity is set in cement. It's never, there's no way to chip past it, right? Because things just went too far. And that's frustrating. Like, that's an unbalancing, right? And there have been times where I'm like, ugh, like, has this been worth it? And I believe, and this is another thing, is I'm one of the few people on the planet who ask this question, right? Because the reality is, majority of people are, oh, Dungeons and Dragons is nothing, I assure you. Shoots and ladders, right? Just another game of Monopoly. Who cares? Nothing's happening special on D&D. It's just a completely worthless pile of goblin chop nonsense. Nothing to see here, folks. Like, you just get this everywhere, and I just don't believe that. I believe there are real stakes on D&D, on Dungeons and Dragons. I believe Dungeons and Dragons is the most powerful secular force on the planet, without a doubt. Like, I think it is a new vector for humanity to interact with narrative and identity, and the stakes on it could not be higher. And that has really unbalanced my life at times. And there were times where that upset me, but I'm not as upset now. And the reason why is, I think Alain de Botton is a very profound man, and I think he's right. And I think what I've done with D&D has been worth it. And it is helpful to understand that there is a very smart man who believes, hey, if that there is no work-life balance. If you anything worth doing is going to unbalance your life. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.